Welcome to everybody.
Uh-huh.
Oops, the recording's on.
Yes.
So, okay. Do you want to wait a couple more minutes? Virginia. Hi, Virginia. I see you there.
Well, hi, Virginia.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Morning, Coyote.
Yeah.
Hi. Hey, Lee,
Coyote.
the house next door is for sale.
I saw it. It's way too high. My agent already went in and she said it's not really, well, I saw all the pictures online. It's overpriced right now. I want it.
What are they selling it at? What's the price?
$250.
Oh,
Oh my
geez.
gosh.
Too much.
That's way
Yeah.
too much.
And it really needs help. It's got like
Oh,
everything left
yeah.
from the 70s and nobody took care of the outside. And
Yeah, right.
there's damage from the roof into the walls and they're not going to sell it for that price. I'm going to be stunned if somebody buys it at that price and then rehabs it. They're going to have to want to live next to you guys more than me.
That's exactly.
And that's saying something.
That is.
Hey, Sue. Hi. I just saw you.
Everybody's eating. Last minute.
Oh, Michael.
Phones off.
Happy-
Go. Here we go. All right. So.
That's our speaker for the day.
Yep, Michael.
Yes, Michael's here. Yay, Michael.
I'm here. Yes, I'm
Hey.
here.
Hey.
I'm glad you're there. I'm glad you're there. You're here too.
I'm glad to be here.
Yes.
I
There.
like your photograph today.
Thank you. That's in line with my talk today.
Oh, good. I like that. I like that photograph. That's good.
Very nice.
Like you look great.
Oh, and Janet's here. Hi, Janet.
Good morning. How are you?
Hey, good.
Hi, Chad. Hi.
Who's here? Denise. Yay, she made it.
I want to welcome Tom Nicodemus and Sue Nicodemus. They're down there someplace.
Oh.
Well, I see the name.
Oh, I see a name there. Hey, Tom and Sue.
I
Wherever you
don't
are.
know them.
I know them. Yeah.
Hi, Tom and Sue. I don't know you, but you're still very welcome.
Oh, really?
Hi, Carol.
Hey, Denise.
I'm here finally. I was in the other service and I had a quick switch.
You look
Which
great.
other service?
Unity Minneapolis.
Oh, the Unity. Oh, yeah. Okay. Cool.
Morning, Louise.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Louise.
Good to see
Good
your
morning.
box.
Hey, see you. Hooray. Good morning. Good morning. I like your hat. I like your hat.
Thanks.
Is Harley here? Not yet. No Harley.
Hey.
He's probably swimming.
Michelle's here. Hey, Michelle,
Don't
you're on.
rub it in.
Okay. We're getting there. So we can start anytime you want. Should we get started? And say welcome to Lake Superior Interfaith Community Church, everyone. And so I would like to say thank you to Michael Anderson for being our speaker. We have an amazing talk coming up here. I know that. When he talks, we'll be turning off just the speakers, but we can stay online. We don't have to turn off the videos. This doesn't seem to make a difference. So that's good. So I would just like to read the statement of intent. Okay, we continue to be fortunate to have a variety of speakers for Sunday services. And by using guest speakers, we gain wisdom for all those who share. This is a church community where we can worship the God of our own understanding. to experience joy and be uplifted, to gain strength and inspiration we can share with others throughout the week. We invite you to join us in the celebration of life to nourish your spirit and to enjoy the community of kindred souls. And so now next would be the principles. And first, oh, I forgot. I wanted to say this prayer. Hey, Rick, you're on. I see you. Okay,
Hi there.
I would like to say this prayer to all of us. I give thanks to Mother, Father, God for bringing us all together as we support each other in the knowing that we are directed and supported through the love and power of God. Okay, and so next, I would like to say the principles. Okay, we believe in infinite intelligence. We believe that a phenomena of nature, both physical and spiritual, are the expression of infinite intelligence. We affirm that a correct understanding of such expression and living in accordance therewith constitute true religion. And we affirm that the existence and identity of the individual continue after the change called death. And we believe in our universal connection in spirit, and that there is communication between the spiritual and physical worlds. And we believe that the highest morality is contained in the golden rule. Whatsoever ye would that others should do unto you, do ye also unto them. And we affirm the moral responsibility of individuals that we make our own happiness or unhappiness as we obey or disobey nature's physical and spiritual laws. And we affirm that the doorway to reformation is never closed against any human soul here or hereafter. And we affirm that the precepts of prophecy and healing are divine attributes contained in all sacred texts. Thank you. I'm just going to turn my light on. I just realized you can see. Oh, I can see myself. Okay, Michael, I would like to invite you to our healing service, and then I'm going to unmute myself or mute myself, or we all should mute ourselves so we can hear you. All right, here we go, mute.
And the reason I asked you to mute yourself is because later on I'm going to invite you to sing along to a song that I'm sure you know, and it gives you the freedom to sing without upstaging me. But that's kind of the plan for that. My sacred text for the day comes from Rumi. Secretly we spoke, the wise one and me. I said, tell me the secrets of the world. He said, shh. Let silence tell you the secrets of the world. In the process of putting this talk together, I found a word in the process of looking up serendipitously anyway. It's called polemic. Okay, it's a contentious rhetoric trying to undermine the opposing position. So I come to realize some of the polemic that goes on in my head that really limits my ability to develop a theme or develop an idea, because I'm constantly struggling with myself within the context of that. And over the course of the years, I've become more aware of that inner battle, and even to the point of where it came from, so that I'm freeing myself more so to express myself in a healthier way, in a better way, and to truly to have a voice. And it feels so much better, and yet it's still so frustrating because I'm still visiting some of that same polemic, that same inner turmoil, which I understand has helped me to develop a lot more strength too, a lot more passion for what I want to say, for what I need to say, to express myself and see how it's affected my self-esteem, my capacity to say what I need to say, even though it's been a struggle, it's been a battle. So thank you for the opportunity to be here. I would like to have a short meditation. And this is where the picture behind me comes in. That's an early morning, probably 5 o'clock in the morning or so. The steam is rising up on the water. You can imagine the warmth in the water, coolness in the air. I'm going to ask you to go into that place where you know you can go to feel at ease. I'm going to turn on some music and see how this works. Can you hear that?
It's faint.
What was that?
Better.
We're going to leave it there then. I'm going to call this primal beauty. The last light of sunset reflected on canoe rippled waters. Bird songs awakening at early dawn. Mist rising from warm water into cool evening air. Tree silhouettes impressed on a background of waning skylights. Sweet fragrances of musk and balm of Gilead carried on warm evening air. Soothing water bathing in immersed hand. The experience of sight and sound, smell and touch. Primal, sensual states of existence. Moving the heart to embrace and touching the soul. So as we have an opportunity to connect with that sensual, not sensual in the sense of touch and sound and smell, we go into the physical body and see how it immerses into our being. And again, the reason I wanted to go in that direction is because it gives us an opportunity to go past that thinking place that we get ourselves into that takes us out of the present state. So as you continue to stay with that and perhaps be influenced by the picture behind me, then I'm going to ask you to stay there, to put you into this place and to stay there. Alan Watts said, if my awareness of the past and the future makes me less aware of the present, I must begin to wonder whether I'm actually living in the real world. So my talk is about within the sounds of silence. And I want to talk about the idea that there's two types of silences. Actually, there's many types of silences. But one of them is based on the fact that part of us actually shuts down because of overstimulus of things in our life, where the autonomic nervous system goes into a fight or flight state. and our safety is compromised. And so it shuts down our emotional, it shuts down our physical, and we stay stuck in a thinking state. And so often that thinking state is a survival state, okay? Most of our thinking is survival thinking. And later on, I'm going to talk about the difference between thinking and thoughts, awarenesses. Was it Epstein talked about thoughts without a thinker? But it's that capacity to reflect, that inner reflection, that inner knowing, connecting with what we call the wise mind, which it combines the emotional state with the thinking state. It combines what we know with emotion, with passion, and we're better able to articulate ourselves. So we're coming from a different place. It's a different state of consciousness. And again, it's the capacity to reflect on those things, which I believe is what Krishnamurti talked about. Think on these things, ponder these things, reflect on these things. Because when we go into that place, we ponder, we see something different. We see something else. We have a deeper understanding of what is, of what reality is. Okay? Within the sounds of silence, that song by Art Garfunkel, where he says, I'm going to ask you to sing along if you'd like, but I'm going to recite the first verse. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping. And the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sounds of silence. In restless dream, I walked alone down narrow streets of cobblestones. Beneath the halo of a street lamp, I turned my collar to the cold and damp when my eyes were stabbed by the flash of a neon light that split the night and touched the sounds of silence. And in the naked light, I saw 10,000 people, maybe more. People talking without speaking. People hearing without listening. People writing songs that voices never share. And no one dared disturb the sounds of silence. Fools, said I, you do not know, silence like a cancer grows. Hear my words that I might teach you. Take my arms that I might reach you. But my words like silent raindrops fell and echoed in the wells of silence. When we have an opportunity to go not so much into that silence, which is a part of what happens when we're traumatized and the emotional body shuts down, to the point where we can't even talk about it because it also affects the Broca's area, which is what happened to a lot of the people that have been significantly traumatized, is they can't talk about it. To a certain extent, because as the World Health Organization says, we live in a chronic state of low-grade anxiety, low-grade hyperarousal. So we continue to be in what I call a survival mode, financial survival. Now we're talking significant safety stuff, significant, scary, scary world that we're living in. So how do we find the ability to balance that survival with the ability to continue to grow, to continue to stay connected with what we know to be true, which is certainly a lot of what we talk about in what we talk about in church, a transcendent, transformational state. And it's in the silence that we have an opportunity, not the silence of shutting it down, okay, but the silence of being able to work through a lot of that stuff, the fear, the anxiety. And too often, and we all experience it in our own way because our lives are so different in what we've experienced, and yet so real in the effects that it's had on our life up until now. So I believe that life is a setup to give us an opportunity to grow into becoming. But it's in going through these crises is that we have that opportunity. Okay? It's within that process that we have an opportunity to work through it. It's understanding the effects, understanding our reaction. We see so much reactionary stuff out there and the effects that that has. And I was thinking to myself, this is not a revolution that we're seeing. We're seeing this is a reactionary situation, okay? Not based on truth. Cervantes said, don't let the truth get in the way of don't let the facts get in the way of the truth, okay? Now, Cervantes was that Spanish novelist back in the 15th century who wrote that story on Don Quixote de la Mancha, the insane idealist, who sallied forth in the world trying to right all wrongs. I think there's a little bit of insane idealists in a lot of us. And that's a good thing because there's passion there. There's a sense of what is right. Cervantes says about Don Quixote de la Mancha, who's the insane idealist, he says, finally, from so little sleep and so much reading, because he was reading about the knights of chivalry and that nobility, that integrity, from so much reading, his brain dried up and he went completely out of his mind. So within that, we see how his whole perception of inner passion, idealism, governed his life. And I believe that we all have that. I consider myself to be an insane idealist, okay? If I think about it from that point of the polemic or the self-judgment, then I say, what the hell are you doing? Okay? Because it goes counter to that original sense of who I thought I was for so many years. And yet I realized that it was the silence that I found myself stuck in that was based on a lot of the raucous noise inside my head, okay? And I'm aware that in the work that I do, that a lot of people have those things. Who the hell do you think you are? But the real question is, who do you think you are? And again, when we take a look at that, we're able to let go of a lot of that that misconception. Okay, then we start to get into that. What Marianne Williamson talked about is that we've got so much capacity, we've got so much truth and goodness and beauty inside of us, and yet it's covered up by this cancer, this whatever you want to call it. And yes, this dis-ease becomes a disease. Okay. So I'd like to read something from, how are we doing on time here? Okay. Chris Heater from the Wild Institute talks about insurrection here. We humans are quite a mess these days, ranging from blind rage to unsettled to terrified. Maybe we're always like this, but right now we seem particularly public in our display. What are we to do with this onslaught of emotions? I ask myself that a lot these days. How am I to behold this turmoil in my body, my nervous system, my soul? The best I can figure is to feel it, to let it in past our defenses, at least a little as we are able, because we're holding these feelings, holding it into our physical body, holding it into our psychological body, our emotional body. We're holding it in. And to balance that with knowing deep inside that all is well, that the inner and the outer world are not the same. There's a place in all of us that circumstances cannot touch. I imagine that is how the Anne Franks and the Nelson Mandelas of the world withstood and emerged as they did, steadying themselves from deep within. Perhaps it's similar to a northern winter. The terrain is covered in ice and snow, still, cold, quiet, unmoving. It's easy to forget that underneath the ice, the river flows freely. Life continues. Frog and turtle sleep peacefully in the sediment. Beaver, otter, and weasel roam in between, popping up, diving under, eating, sleeping. Fish still live their fish lives. Aquatic plants adapt and thicken. So dig deep, dear ones. Let yourself feel in small measures the truth of our world. Then hold softly your tender hearts. Let it drink its fill from the flowing stream beneath the ice. So within that soul, that deep inner presence, hopefully what you felt when I talked about primal states, that capacity to use that physical body, which is connected and yet disconnected from that thinking state, that reactive state that I believe we all have. And we have an opportunity to embrace truth and goodness and beauty, which takes me to the other part of silence. That deep inner silence, which is, to say it's a bigger part of who we are is an understatement to the max, because it's so much more connected with what truth, what goodness and beauty is, which is what the Greeks talked about 2,000 years ago. But we have an opportunity to find that connection in that other silence, the other side of silence, a powerful communication, a knowing and inner wisdom that we all have, to be non-reactive. The greatest of human virtues, as far as I'm concerned. Madison Taylor writes about hearing the whisper underneath the noise. There's beauty and power when we listen to the whisper. That still small voice within each of us does not try to compete with the mental chatter on the surface of our mind, nor does it attempt to overpower the volume of the raucous world outside of us. If we want to hear it, no matter what's going on around us or even inside us, we can always tune in to that soft voice underneath the surrounding noise. We have the more insistent voices in our heads delivering messages that make us feel panicky or afraid. But they are of questionable authority, as she says. They may be voices we internalize from childhood or from the culture. And as such, they possess only half-truths. Again, don't let the facts get in the way of the truth. Their urgency stems from their disconnectedness from the center of our being. And their urgency is to catch what our attention, and their urgency is what catches our attention. Unfortunately, that's our thinking state. We live in the thinking state and are so disconnected with that emotional piece. which so often drives our thinking because most of our thinking is survival thinking.
Yeah.
Hopefully that makes sense. It does to me anyway. So I'm going to end this with actually with singing a song, but you're all welcome to join me in this. We talked about the silence. We talked about that deep inner silence that it has to be cultivated because we have to work through a lot of the inhibitions, the raucous voices inside of us that talk about the past, the future. So often it's unresolved stuff. So often it's survival. But we have an opportunity to connect with this. But the song goes again, in the silence, there's a sacred place. Okay? In the silence, there is a sacred place, a secret meeting place. Love is there. In the silence, where every color blends and every rainbow ends, good is there. In the light, now you'll find that you know peace of mind. In the silence, your path is paved in gold, and all your dreams unfold, Love is there, peace is there, truth is there, God is there. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Michael.
Mm.
So much to think about and digest. Thank
Don't
you
think about it, feel it, breathe
much
into
to
it.
feel. So much to feel. Thank you.
Yes, yes.
Okay. I just would like to say, I want to thank everyone for your donations to our wonderful church. And just to please continue to donate and send it to 1414 East 9th Street. I'm there almost every day checking the mailbox, you guys. So I won't miss your check. I will. I want to thank you. So now I would like to do our church affirmation. We totally accept the belief that God is in charge of the affairs and direction of Lake Superior Interfaith Community Church. We know that as our thoughts of trust and joyful anticipation join in harmony with the thoughts of all the members of this fellowship, we attract the right ministerial leadership to our community, and we are grateful. Amen. Unmute, want to talk? Oh, we have a benediction. Michael, do you want to do a benediction, or do you want me to speak the benediction?
I don't think I have anything. I actually have a lot of stuff. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to say the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. Amen. Woo.
Amen. Amen.
Hi, Sue.
Hi, Sue. Hi, Sue.
Okay. Nice to, so this is fun. So anyway, we have maybe a little sunshine peeking through today. That's good. I wish you all a wonderful day and
Yeah.
proceed onward. And if anybody, if you want to chat for a bit or
Carol, I've got one quick announcement if I could.
announcements, yes, I'm sorry.
Just
Okay.
for anybody, I know Jerry and you and Lita are all waiting for a book from me.
Yeah.
Yes.
The books did not come. A week and Amazon did not deliver books, and I'm a Prime member. So, yay. And they were in stock too. So just to let you know what we are going to do tonight is I'm going to take some pictures of the pages and I'm going to screen share them. So we'll be able to see the pictures on the screen. I will be able to see pictures of the pages on the screen and read along. So I know that there will be many that don't have books, but we will be able to make it through this. And
Good.
yeah.
Well, thank you,
we'll get
Rick.
through.
Thank you.
you.
Hey, Sue's
Sorry.
got hers.
I got mine.
Any other announcements that?
Oh,
Anybody
blessings.
else have to say anything?
Carol
Otherwise-
Congrath, do you have a picture for us today?
I do.
Oh,
Oh.
Or
Oh.
this one.
Oh, that's
Oh.
lovely.
Or
Nice.
I like it.
Thank you.
Hi, Harley.
Hi, Harley. Yes.
Hi, y'all.
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
Harley. Hey.
Yeah.
Harley,
Hey,
you
Sue,
look,
are you still in Belize?
No, I got back on the 2nd or the 3rd.
Oh, okay. I was talking to Lita and she said you were back and I thought, no, you're still down there.
I kind of wish now that the sun's not out.
Well, that was a short visit.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Harley, you look cold. You have a hat and a jacket on and you're
It's
inside.
cold up here. It's
Florida.
cold down here.
Oh,
Cold for me. And I don't like to turn the heat up very high, so I put on more clothes.
Yeah. Smart.
That looks good.
Hi,
Carolyn, what's that thing looking over your shoulder?
Oh, that's a giraffe. I made that in one of Mary Plaster's puppet making classes about,
Hey,
Ah.
I don't know,
Oh.
12 years ago or so.
Very
I
nice.
remember that. I love it.
Anyway, my friend told me I needed to get him out of the basement and back upstairs again. So,
Good.
Nice. Nice.
so anyway, I had to put my dog to sleep on Friday morning.
Oh.
Sorry.
So I've had him for 10 years. He was about 15 and it was time to say goodbye. So
Yeah. Say goodbye.
missing
Yeah.
him a little, but
that
unfortunately,
Yeah.
fortunately or unfortunately, we now have 2 more cats in our household. Against my better
Careful.
judgment, but I guess it's going okay.
Careful, that gets addicting, you know.
Well, they're not really mine. One is my grandson's and one is my granddaughter's. So
Ah. It's all family. It's all family. Good, good, good.
Just
Mike,
let,
an announcement to make.
just to let you know, Jerry has shingles.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
So
Yeah. Thank you.
You never
We
got
got-
your shot.
some herbs and stuff, an algae, a red algae from Sharon Zukas, and it actually took the pain away
Yeah.
almost right away. It was very interesting.
Wow.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a very good one.
I had shingles years ago and it was quite painful around my
Yeah.
waist.
Oh, yeah.
Very painful.
Very painful, right along the nerves. It was, but this was it's fantastically better today. I'll tell you.
That's great.
Had it all week.
Good.
Oh, Michael, I have a picture to show you.
Okay.
Jerry can. Jerry.
Ah,
Don Quixote.
Don Quixote de la Mancha.
I am I, Sancho Panza. Da, da.
Lord of La Mancha, my destiny calls and I go.
Yes.
The wild winds of fortune will carry me onward, oh, whithersoever they blow. Yeah, the museum down in Mexico on De La Mancha. Do they? Yeah.
Yes, there's a whole museum in Guanajuato. I went there.
Yeah.
Went to that.
Yeah, that's where it is. Yeah. Sounds like a destination for me, huh?
You know, speaking of Mary Plaster, she has a storefront now on in the Arts District out in the west side, West End, and her big puppets are in all the windows. They're incredible, and she has new ones too. So it's worth a drive by. I don't think she's there working, but the windows are filled and she's on a corner.
Where
So-
about? 20th?
Mhm.
It's like
21st.
20th and Superior Street, I think.
20th and Superior.
Okay.
And it used to be an old furniture store.
It was an old
Appliance.
appliance store. I ran into Carolyn and Harriet by accident this week out there. They were almost trying to climb in the windows, I think. They were so excited.
That would be Harriet, yeah. And she has some new ones that we haven't seen. And there's one mystery one that it seems like it's Trump, but it's a very unusual face on Trump. And what were some of those other new ones, Carolyn?
Oh, I can't remember.
It wasn't Fauci, but it was some very current new puppets, big ones. So she is really an artist in our community to watch, I'll tell you.
Wonder what she's gonna be doing there.
Good question, Harley, because I can't imagine she could move her whole studio there because, which I've never seen, but you know, maybe those storefronts, my figuring is those storefronts may want to be filled, especially a place with big windows. So maybe she's getting
yeah.
to use it as a
Yeah, it
as
could
a
be
show
just-
place without paying
Yeah,
a lot for it, but keeps the place filled. I really don't know,
yeah.
but she's amazing.
Yeah.
I would like to, speaking of Mary Plaster, because I know that Martin Luther King is one of the
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
plaster
Mhm.
forms that she has created,
Mhm.
and that tomorrow is Martin Luther King Day.
Oh, is
And
it?
yeah, and then the inauguration is forthcoming in less than 100 hours, as I've seen some countdowns on the
You did a
Facebook.
countdown, huh?
And whether or not anybody is a part of the Unity study group or interested,
Yeah.
I know that one of the Unity congregations, it might be the one that Denise was referencing just prior to the service, from 10 to 2 tomorrow, there's going to be a silent meditation to kind of elicit some more of what Michael Anderson was talking about, you know, finding that divinely aligned space in the silence and sending that sense of peace to the inaugural process and our country, and allowing us to all be more settled in that. And I think I really felt compelled a few days ago to try to reach out to everybody with the prospect of doing something like that amongst ourselves, but perhaps right now we're better joined with even a larger body of people who have something organized, because I know the logistics can be a challenge. But at any point in time in any of our days, to take a few minutes to be with ourselves and our sense of connection with each other and our community and our country, I think is of deep heart-centered importance.
Is that kind of like the one on Wednesday as well?
That is the one on-
Harley, that is the one on Wednesday. I sent the link earlier and I put the wrong date down. For some reason, I was thinking the inauguration was Monday, but no, the inauguration is Wednesday. And then I reread their instructions, and it is a Wednesday Zoom from 10 to 2. So I sent a correction out to the congregation, but I don't know if everybody's read that yet. So
Can you
Okay.
just join in anytime or?
I would believe so, Carolyn. I
Yeah.
think it's kind of like come and go thing. Sure.
Right. They've had one once before back in June when all of the Black Lives Matters things were going down there and we were meditating and holding sacred space, and you could just come and go. I mean, you can just zoom in and zoom out or whatever. So
They did
it's
every
not
night for a while.
limited for hours. You stay as long as you feel.
It's interesting. Zoom into a Zoom and zoom out of a Zoom.
Yep. You can zoom in and zoom out.
I like
It is
that.
on Zoom, Rick, isn't it? Or is it on Facebook? I think it's
Let me check I can check it right here.
because, you know, they,
It is Zoom.
yeah, that's
Via
what I thought.
Zoom. Yep. And if you click on that link, that I sent, it has a click here to join the gathering.
Oh, good.
So it's not tomorrow morning, it's Wednesday. It's actually
is-
on the day of the inauguration.
Correct, yes. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Good.
I was a little screwed up there.
Happens.
Yeah, but thanks for it, Rick, because that's an example of some of the ways we can
Yes,
enjoy some of the aspects that they can offer.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
The aspects of life and sharing the spirit that we are with everyone else for our country and for everybody in our country and the world. And so it's a great opportunity for us. So thank you all for being there with your opportunities, your life, and your love, and your peace, and your joy. Thank you all.
Thanks, Jerry.
Right, Jerry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Board member would like to stay on. If you want to chat after, fine. Otherwise, just we'll go whatever. But or you want to stay on and chat right now, everybody? It's all cool. So
Okay.
Well,
So,
thanks
Michael-
everyone, and thanks, Michael. And
Jerry,
message. Sorry I logged in a little late, but
Yeah, good to see you
Okay.
all. I'm gonna say goodbye, but nice to see you
Enjoy the
all.
meeting.
Yeah, Harley. Stay warm down there, Harley.
I will. I'm trying.
Yes, I want to echo Carolyn there, Michael. That was a wonderful message for us. Thank you.
yes.
Sure was,
And I
Michael. Thank
learned
you
a
so
new
much.
word,
Which one is that?
polemic.
And does that resonate with you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, as you said, it's a human condition for those of us who have the time and space to pay attention
Well,
to
it's,
these.
I think it's one of the most important self-awarenesses to have is to understand we got both of these, and sometimes it's a dozen of us people inside that we all have a committee. And the question becomes, whose side are they on?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the more we have a gatekeeper to make sure that it's going in the right direction, that was the original intention of, from my perspective, why we're here is to become. And again, I've learned that life is a setup and it wants us to grow. So when we ask ourselves, why do these things keep happening to me? It's the universal intelligence saying, well, we want you to learn. And how else are you going to learn but to go through these things and to understand that this is a program pattern of thoughts, feelings, beliefs, and behaviors. Same stuff, different day. And as we continue to reenact those things, which is a lot of what trauma work is all about, we become more aware of them. We have an opportunity to renegotiate. And by changing our reaction to things, we have an opportunity to be less reactionary and more responsive to the situation. Okay. And that's where the transformation, that's where the true becoming is. And I believe that we're all in the process of becoming. Becoming what is always the question. But after a while, we begin to see that becoming. We begin to see that Maslow's triangle of hierarchy, where we're beyond basic safety, we're beyond self-esteem, we're into the place of knowing and self-actualization, that process of becoming. And every once in a while, we get a little bit of that. Okay? And we say, wow, we're on that, I say that pinnacle or that pinnacle of awareness. And then the next minute comes and all of a sudden we're back in some of the old, what becomes a relatively unhealthy cycle, but just to become aware of it. That's part of the programming. We all have our own programming. And because we're human, but so much more than that humanness is the fact that we've got this powerful, powerful, powerful life force, this powerful human spirit, that transcendent part of who we are, that God essence, that Christ consciousness, that universal intelligence, call it what you will, but it's all a part of that quintessential self. Profound, humbling, and gratitude for life and living.
Hmm.
Thank you for letting me share that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Michael.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we'll see you
Bye,
later.
Carol.
Bye.
Hi.
Bye.
See you next week. Next see you Sunday night tonight.
All righty, we'll see you later.
Okay, all right.
I'm going to stop recording then. You guys want to carry on?
All right.
Okay.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Steve.
Bet.